Well, expat policy is a document that's been put together by HR normally that gives a framework for international assignments in a business, and that's a very important document because it ensures consistency in the organisation, especially if there's a lot of assignments happening in and outbound. And it gives you the guidance to tell you exactly what's going to happen with the assignee. The company knows how people are going to get paid, for example, what benefits they will get, and the assignee knows what's going to happen with him and what he's allowed to have on this assignment and how it's going to work in the future. So that's a very important document to have one in place to give you guidance in the business.
And what is the focus of an expat policy?
The focus of an expat policy is exactly, as I said before, it's putting out the detail now. For example, what must be covered in expat policies, for example, the composition of the salary packages. Will he get bonuses? Will he get paid in South Africa or in the host country? Will he be paid in dollars, for example, or in South African rands? Then you must look at relocation allowances. What is allowed to have? Can he take one container, 2 containers? How is it going to work? Medical aid. Will he be covered by international medical aid, for example? Then you have to look at also on repatriation issues once again. Do you guarantee him a job when he gets back? And that will be in the policy or give the business a guidance what must happen. Travel arrangements. When they're far away in, for example, places in Africa, they get hardship allowances. How will that be calculated and how will it be determined and will they get one? Okay. So that's a type of issues that needs to be covered in an expat policy in the document, because that's quite important, then everybody knows how it works. And what's even more important is that your employment agreement that you actually sign with the expat is linking in with your expat policy. Because the worst that you can have is that the expat policy saying something different to your employment agreement. That could create havoc in the business, especially where a lot of expats are involved in.
Indeed. And Kemp, are there different types of policies?
You do get different types of policies. You get your standard policy, which covers the normal stuff, but then also you have to look at what the length of your assignment would be. Because if you go only for 6 months, for example, you might not give home flights. The person must go for 6 months, come back when the assignment is finished. If you go longer term, obviously there's more benefits, and that must be stipulated. And what's also quite important nowadays is that you have to be flexible to have country-specific policies. Because if you go to certain countries or people coming from a certain country, you might have to treat them differently from other expats coming from Australia, or if somebody goes to Africa or going to the UK, there might be different benefits for them that needs to be accounted for. And it's very good policy to have different types of policies that is country specific, because then there's no confusion and you know how it works. If expats start talking to who's getting what, at least they will know if I come from the UK or going to an African country, we're all treated the same. That's quite very, very important.
And Kemp, what are some of the challenges in implementing these policies?
I think the biggest challenge in the policy is that management must buy into it. You can put a draft document on the table and you can put all the dots and you need what you need to do, but if a management doesn't buy into it and it doesn't fit with the culture of the firm or the company, it won't work. So it's quite important and a big challenge to make that happen and let everybody understand how the policy is put together and why it's there. Because once again, if it fails, it's going to cost the company a lot of money.
Very interesting. Thank you for that. And if you need more information about this interview, please take a look at the next issue of the Tax Talk magazine, or you can log on to their website at www.taxtalk.co.za. You can also reach Tax Talk on 0861 829 825. Until next week, goodbye.